Good day and welcome to the July plot tour. Every time I put out a tour, people say, oh, the plot is looking really good. And I'm slightly concerned, I'm not anxious, that I'm not giving you the warts and all, because there are always areas that you can see out of shot that are either being maintained for wildlife, so they look really unkempt, or there's things that need to be done, or simply jobs that I haven't got around to yet. So I thought what I would do today with the July tour, which is a little bit later than I would have wished, is to give you an all areas warts and all tour. So from the corner of the plot through to the dead hedge at the back of the polytunnel. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. The weather outside is gloriously sunny. We have a yellow warning for rain for, I think, the next 14 hours. And that yellow warning starts in 1 minute. So let's get out there. But I mean, at the moment, the skies are beautifully blue with some dusty clouds, but some rather lovely white clouds as well. That's the view from the door of the shed to the skyline. And as you can see, it's rather glorious at the moment. I wonder where that yellow warning for rain is coming from. Mind you, it's early in the day at the moment. Right, let's get to the corner of the plot. The vinyl is still down in this area and by the cardoon, but I have started work here. So what I've done, let me come this way. What I'm doing is I'm doing this in steps. The soil is pretty easy to work actually, but it's just the number of weeds in there. And I want to make sure that I get as much of that cinquefoil and bindweed root out as I can. If you don't watch a week at the plot, I did take one piece of root out that was about a metre or so long. That was of bindweed. But yes, this area I have started on, and hopefully by the end of July, I'll have got all of that area sorted as well. Though there are various things coming up now for us. So yeah, I'm not going to hold myself to that, but let's say this will be done by... No, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to hold myself to a date. This will be done when the time is right. So the stinging nettles, I was trying to think what they were. They've done really well this year. And you can see in there hiding our compost bins. And it is quite difficult to get to them at the moment, though I will be cutting the nettles back pretty soon so that I can get into there. I've just seen some bindweed going up a tomato frame. Gosh, right at the top. How hadn't I noticed that? These cardoons are looking rather magnificent. If I just move over, maybe you can see them. Not great to eat these because there's so much choke in there, but you can eat the cardoon stems, the leaf. So you see that spine there right in the middle. You can take the leaf off and braise that spine. Mum also used to candy them like candied fruits. Into our area where we have our squash, and in the middle we have Brussels sprouts. The Brussels sprouts are doing really well. I need to raise that netting up so that it gives them a chance to grow further, but they're doing really well. And in fact, the squash, you can see there's a little fruit forming. What's this one? I'm not sure what this one is. I don't have a thing, but There's another one there. Can you see where the fruit is forming? Obviously they need to be well pollinated. This one has been eaten, and that one where there's a gap there, that one has been eaten as well. So these are a mixture of homestead sweetmeat, Oregon homestead sweetmeat, Uchiki curry, and also Cheeky Prince. I do have labels on each of them, but I'm not sure. And then over here we have two of Vivi's, though these ones here, which have wonderful marbling on the leaf, those are two that Vivi gave, and I can't remember what they are. I'm sure Vivi will know. Right, our mange two. We had two sets of a few days away, and yeah, these really did go over very quickly with little picking. But as I've said in a week at the plot, the good thing is that there's plenty of seed here to save, both for eating and also for growing for next year. So these are Train Driver Mountain Range near the front. Over here we've got, oh, what is that one? Oregon Sugar Pod. No, what is it? I can't remember. And then you can see in here, those red pods are Mr. Bethel's Purple Podded, which, to be frank, weren't that tasty. And then we have on this corner here the Golden Sweet, which were fabulous. So yes, lots of seed to save. Our Cotton Lavender is coming out. Let me go this way so you can see. Isn't that glorious? Those wonderful yellow buttons. Into this bed. Let me just stand here. You can probably see at the back, right at the back, there were a row of Jamaica peppers that we grew from seed that Brian sent us. They have all been eaten. Then we have paprika peppers from Vivi. Then we have some orange bell from Vivi. And then these last two rows here are the Morrison's Long Yellow. And some of these are doing okay. I wouldn't say great, but many of them are beginning to flower. So can you see the flower forming in the middle there? But some are really being badly eaten by slugs. Look at that one in the middle there. Let me get a focus. I can't even, oh yeah, there. Can you see there? Slugs and snails this year, I mean, not surprisingly, it's been really damp. So, such a challenge. Then we've got Rock and Core beans, which we sowed a few weeks ago. These were saved seed from Vivi. Our saved seed did absolutely nothing. Well, that's not true. This one and this one is from our saved seed, and the smaller ones are from Vivi's, which were sown a good few weeks later. Then on to this bed. This is where our Brassicas are going to go, or many of our Brassicas that we'll see shortly in the polytunnel. And yeah, I need to get into that bed, but we've got a photo shoot coming up at in the next couple of weeks, and they want me to try and keep some of these poppies in for that. Then on to this bed, we've got the Amish deer tongue lettuce beginning to go to seed, though interestingly I'm still picking leaves from it and it's not going sour. Then we have tomatoes here, which are they're from Vivi. Why can't I remember things this morning? Oh, that's terrible. I can't remember. But what we are noticing, look, can you see there, that brown? I think that's blight. I noticed some yesterday, and I think it's blight. I mean, we do have very humid weather at the moment, so perfect for blight. The beans are beginning to climb well. On this side, we have... Oh, no! No, no, no! I'm going to have to pause. Actually, there's a plane going over, so I am going to pause anyway. On this side of this wigwam, we've got tarbay, which are great for cassoulet. And then on this side, we have Canadian white. And you can see the leaves, you can see the different leaves. The one on the left has got more pronounced markings on the leaves than the one on the right. They're moving around, excusing my shadow. More tomatoes from Vivi, which seem to be doing well. And then there, we've got some celery from Vivi as well. This one's been a little bit eaten. We're down to 4 celery from 5. Oh yes, and then we were also given some butternut squash, which you can see is flowering. These were really big when they went in. That one, oh, let's just pick that up. Look, you can see here, this flower has fallen off from here, but this was a male flower because there's no small squash at the end. So yeah, in fact that one also looks like a male flower because it's got no bulbous bit at the back. Anyway, let's see how they do. Coming on to carrots. Oh, I see a fox has got in there. I only uncovered this the other day, but I can see a tiny little carrot. Can you see that little orange carrot in the middle? Bless. So the carrots actually are doing okay. There's 3 types in there. And then we've got tender and true parsnips here. And the second sowing of parsnips has not germinated, which I find really quite interesting. Right, let's go down here. There are our runner beans. They look as though they're doing really okay, but we'll come on to them in a minute. Let's just go down. On this frame here, we have our Madeira Maroon climbing beans. Flowers are developing, but there's no flowers out at the moment. This time last year, there were plenty. Then on this one, we have Golden Gate, which is climbing well. I mean, it's above, look, you can see that one is above the height of the poles, trying a different way with poles. What I'm also noticing here though, look, bindweed, that's coming from this bed. Oh, we've also got broad beans, the late broad beans that Vivi gave us. They're in here, and there's one more picking, I think, and then all of this bed will be turned over. Everything will be removed, put into the compost bin, and given a really good forking over to get weeds out. But yes, back to the Golden Gate. Growing well, but germination was really poor. I think we put about 20 in here, and no, 28 we put in here, and I think we've got about 10. Pretty poor. Then on to the Shaz's Scarlet Emperor runner beans. Lots of flowers developing. However, if I come down here, oh, maybe that is a bean developing there. But what I'm noticing is very few of the flowers seem to be being pollinated and turning into beans. This time last year, we'd been picking these for a fortnight. Oh, look, there is one there, definitely. I'll take that off. Can you see that bean? Oh, I'm not sure if I'm focusing, but yes, there are a few beans. There's also a load of planes coming out from Heathrow this morning. These are our highly scientific experiment broad beans, which are looking a bit worse for wear now. And I'll come on to that on a week at the plot this week. So that will be uploaded next Monday. Mint doing really well. Then we have some tree spinach, which we were given. And these are tiny Tim tomatoes that Brian gave us seeds of. They're flowering, but nothing seems to be forming at the moment. Fingers crossed. Blueberries. Blueberries are doing okay. You can see I'm picking them and they're not being pecked by birds. This one, I have no idea what variety of blueberry this one is, but it's far sweeter. Oh look, there's a little cooking apple. This is a Bramley. Yay! Right, our tomatoes. Yeah, mixed. Actually, you know what these are? These have grown a huge amount in a week. I think they've grown about 1.5 feet in a week. And they're doing okay. I have just noticed, as I'm saying, I was about to say something, that there is some fruit developing. Can you see that fruit in the middle? But again, this time last year, we had lots of fruit developing. This year, with the wetness that we've had and the cool weather that we've had, things are really quite delayed. But fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Just hang on 1 second. This is our plants bench. There's quite a few here to give away and also to go in once we sort the perennial bed at the front. Yeah. Work to do, work to do. Our Azurian blue, or Azurius blue, I think they are, sweet peas have all now gone over and are going to seed. As you can see, they didn't grow very tall. They're quite short, but they were rather pretty and dainty. I've got some poppy seed heads just drying here. We'll collect the seed from those and collect seed from others as well. This one actually fell over and broke off its main stem. So as it was so far advanced, I just thought I'd leave it to dry there. Then the bed in front of the shed is looking absolutely glorious. Lots of things in there. Oh, and some Nigella coming as well. There's Nigella there. And there's bindweed there. Other plants just at the front, mainly sedums, which are already developing their little flowers. And then here we are. Look at that. I just haven't had time to get in there and sort all of that out. There just hasn't been time. I did some strimming yesterday. Yesterday for me today, filming this on Monday, was Sunday. So I did lots of strimming of the rest of the plot. Didn't get into this area because I did notice that there were quite a few tracks going through that grass. And that obviously means, well, I think that there's hedgehogs going through there because the tracks are very low to the ground. They're like little tunnels. So I do need to get in there though and take that bindweed out, which is behind that little bird table we were given. I need to take that bindweed out. I mean, this wet, humid weather has really got all the weeds going. These 2 tubs of spring bulbs, again, I need to sort out. As with those fuchsias. Oh, someone's given me a tomato. Look at that, lovely. what's that say? Country taste tomato. This is a bag of tomato leaves that I pruned from the tomatoes yesterday. That is going home to go into my municipal green waste to be taken away. At the back there, I think you can see I still haven't picked the gooseberries yet, and we've got quite a few red ones coming as well. We'll have a look at those in a moment. The flower border bed has largely gone over, but there's still some lovely flowers in there. Something I need to think about next year is later flowers that flower later, because I had the same thing last year where it goes over by about mid-June. But look here, evening primrose, self-seeded. No idea where that came from. Chicory on the edge of our neighbour's plot. Chicory there on the edge of our plot. And if you come down here, as well as that little ladybird, you can see that the strawberries are doing well, which is great. Nothing on our black currants. Hang on, apart from loads of aphids in there being milked. Can you see those being milked by ants? Black ants, fortunately, rather than red. Nothing on these gooseberries. There are quite a few ladybirds around. Can you see that one? And then in here, we've got red goosey gogs. Can you see the redness in there? There's a hole. Look. So those have done well as well, which I'm really pleased about. Oh, hang on. Look, there's a few black currants. Not sure if you can see. Oh, there's one near my thumb, look. There, tiny. Right, more climbing beans. These are Helder and... oh, what do we put here? Helder and another one that I can't remember. My memory. One is almost at the top. Yeah. This is where our perpetual spinach was. And also some Caribou du Moussin Mange 2 stroke peas. I took those out last week and have sown 4 salad crops in here. One is outrageous lettuce, then we have a row of coriander, then we have a row of parsley, and at the back we have a row of wild rocket. They were only sown maybe, in fact 6 days ago they were sown, and no germination that I can see yet. What I can see germinating is more calendula. Let's go over here actually. We have removed the beetroot that had bolted, or largely removed the beetroot that had bolted. We've still got chard there, which is bolting. Rather beautiful, but bolting. And Vivi gave us some more chard, which is in here, which we planted up about maybe 2 weeks ago. One lettuce left, which we're still, well, we're just beginning to harvest from that one because the other 2 here have gone. Right, we do actually have a frog. Whilst I was doing the work last week of taking out the perpetual spinach and Mange 2, a frog was watching me from this washing up bowl pond. So that was great. Right, let's try and avoid my shadow. This is another soft fruit bed that we put in a few, well, maybe 2 months ago. And at the back are autumn fruiting raspberries, which I weeded, then put cardboard down, then mulched. I did that just a few days ago. The artichokes are getting quite big now. We don't eat these, even though you can eat these. We let them go to flower, and then they're a fantastic attractor for all sorts of pollinators, which is great. Across here, gosh, these have been decimated in the last couple of days. These are our final Portuguese cabbage. And yeah, look at how much slug activity has been on there. It's because I need to cut things back. These are our main crop potatoes, which are doing okay. They went in really, really late. But yes, this is the ceanothus that really needs to be cut back, and all of that bindweed needs to come out. Moving over, more bean frames. At the back we have gigantes, and at the front we have some Cocoa Sophie and more Madeira Maroon from Vivi. That seed we gave her, that she grew on. And as you can see, slug damage. So much slug damage this year. So much slug damage. And I know it's sort of significant for many people. Sweet corn. Don't usually do sweet corn. We were given these plants. I put them in, I think a little bit late. Not sure whether they'll come to anything, but fingers crossed. The lady who gave us these, hers are looking absolutely stupendous. Right, early potatoes. These are our earlies, and they're looking pretty fine. They're beginning to develop their fruits, which of course we must not eat. Those are poisonous. You never eat the fruit, above ground fruit of a potato, only the tubers, obviously. Wildflower area here, and yeah, it's really wild this year, really wild. The grasses, with the humidity, the rain, have really gone for it. Right, more potatoes here, which I was given these, and I think we'll be harvesting these relatively soon. These went in earlier than the other lates. And then on to our courgette patch. At the front we have Buddleia, as you can see, developing quite nicely. That's about 6 inches. And then at the back we have golden yellow, which again is developing. That's again about the same size. Quite a few coming on there. Well, there's one rotting away. Interesting thing, I know here, because we've got so much grass, there's going to be quite a few slugs and snails. However, at the front, at the back, the golden sweet courgettes have not been munched on by snails, or hardly munched on at all by snails and slugs. However, the Buddleia, I mean this one, look at that, was munched completely. The leaves are being munched on these, but not on the golden yellow. Has the golden yellow got something which slugs and snails don't like? Oh, look, that doesn't look healthy. That doesn't look healthy at all. Gosh, why is that such a odd colour? Maybe Buddleia isn't going to be something that we grow in the future. Maybe we'll stick to golden sweet. I'm going to have to look up what might be causing that discoloration. I think you can see it's quite yellow and sort of lime greeny, where if we come back here, this is the same variety, and this one is quite green. I hope you can hear that. If not, I'll put text over. Ants nests, so many ants nests this year. This is another, or our further tomato bed, different types of tomato in here. I'm really finding this year that the side shoots of the tomatoes are going for it more than ever. Right, if we come in here, what's that? Not sure, but is it blight? Oh, I think it is. Over there. Here. Right. So before I go today, I need to do more removal of leaves on here. Right, okay. Few things on the bench. Lettuce seedlings. Look at the rain we've had. Those were empty yesterday. Asparagus at the back. Looks like a little forest. Some dahlias. And I haven't put these in yet, which are flowers. I'm not sure what type of flowers, but they're flowers. Right. Let's go up here. This dark Buddleia is doing really well. We cut it back each year. It's got a little self-seeded geranium in there. Excuse my shadow, which is really lovely. Calendula that needs deadheading. Yeah. Then coming in here, haven't been in here this morning. I left this open last night. Cucumber plants from Vivi and 2 Babs. Babs Minor and Babs Major. But really, considering that they're in a polytunnel, they're so slow. Here are Brassicas that are going to be going into where the bed is that has the poppies in at the moment. And I do have some further tomato plants which I've grown from shoots. So yeah, let me pause you. There's another big plane going over. Yeah, so these were put into water first and then put into ground. You can see that the roots have developed nicely. So I think I may leave these in here in the polytunnel. We've got room for them to go at the front. And if we're going to get early blight on our tomatoes, then sensible to put them in here. Yeah. Right. Coming around, I weeded our asparagus that were in tubs. I weeded those yesterday. They do not like being left weedy. Oh, mind you, I don't think I weeded that one that well. And then here we are. So much work to do here in tidying this up. I let it go a bit wilder than I normally do because of the wildlife we had here, including grass snake. And that's great for wildlife, but it's not been great for me. So yesterday I had a good scrummage through with my gloved hands to make sure that there was no wildlife in here. And I started strimming at a high level. So about 8 inches off the ground rather than at the ground level. And I need to do much more tidying up. The shed is still wibbly wobbly and will remain that way until I think it gets taken down, which will most probably be later this year. I still haven't sorted this out yet, and I want to put it up against this, so I need to sort out this area. And then coming round to our 1940 shed, you can see I need to do a lot of cutting back in there as well. These are some spare gooseberries we've got that are quite happy in that pot at the moment. Yeah, lots of work to do. Things like cutting this elderflower branch right back. That needs to be done in a few weeks' time, maybe a month's time. There are berries coming on here at the moment, and obviously we don't want to take food away from wildlife. But yeah, there's things that need taking in hand. No cinnabar caterpillars on there, which is interesting. And then coming around, as I say, we've got, we do have some comfrey in here as well. But this is an area that needs a real tidy. It's unkempt rather than unloved. This is the compost bin that we had hedgehogs in, so I've just let that be as well. I think the hoglets have all gone from there now, so, you know, that's fine. Time to start different bits of work. And then that is our dead hedge. Let me come in here. This is our dead hedge, where lots of detritus gets put, and then in about a year's time, this will be at half the level it is at the moment, because it just breaks down. And the back area, so it is a warts and all. Again, this area here is really kept for wildlife and is a run for quite a few things, including underneath here. This is a route under here for potentially hedgehogs and other things, and there's, I think you can just see through there, there's more space up there, so things can get underneath this fence, which is great. This tree is gorgeous but is dying. That's something else that I'm going to have to think about cutting back, because we need to manage trees before they fall over and damage our polytunnels or other areas. So yes, you can see that things are not pristine in quite a few areas of the plot. I do let things go for wildlife. Gosh, Heathrow is really chucking out the planes. Let me pause you again. So yes, I do leave areas for wildlife, though I do think that the wildlife areas, with the amount of rain that we've had, with the humidity, with the amount of grass that has grown, the amount of weeds that has grown, I think nature and wildlife is taking hold on the plot, or has taken hold on the plot, a little more than I would have liked. Though at the same time, I don't want to scare wildlife away by having, I mean, I will never have a pristine plot. It just won't happen. That's not me. The areas that I want to keep as tidy as possible have become rather rugged this year. And the areas that I like to keep more rugged have become really, really more rugged. So yeah, and as you can most probably hear, within a minute of me saying there's a plane, there's another plane, there's yet another plane. Let's pop into the shed. There we are. That's the July tour. And as you can see, there are areas like the carrot bed, the parsnip bed, other areas which are really, really quite tidy. And there are other areas of the plot that really are quite unkempt. So, you know, it's time. Having an allotment means you need to commit. It's like having another child. But anyway, we'll talk about that another time. I've just come into the shed again. There's another plane taking off from Heathrow. I mean, gosh, I know we live relatively near Heathrow. I think it's about 8 or 10 miles from us, and we are one of the takeoff routes. But boy, are they chucking them out this morning. I suppose things are beginning to get back to normal and people are going away on holiday and things like that as restrictions in the UK begin to ease, which we'll hear more about in the UK on later on today, which is Monday. Anyway, yes, what we really need now is warmth and some rain, but not the rain that we have been having. It's now just coming up to 10 to 11. There has been no rain since I started filming this at all. And as I sit here at the moment, it is really sunny outside. Let me just spin you round and then we'll complete the tour with the view out of the door of the shed. The view from my shed, my plot, my neighbour's plot with the chickens, and then houses, and then a pub behind that big tree. It is a lovely view. It is a lovely view, and still a lovely day, though maybe those clouds are beginning to thicken up a little. So maybe at some point we will get the predicted rain. Anyway, I'm going to leave the tour there now. I hope it's been useful. Yeah, I hope it's been useful. You know, not everything is perfect. Certainly not on my plot anyway. See you soon. Bye.